fucking with Man Jackson. You're watching WGS-TV.
Yeah!
Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer and ZFX-TV. I'm the WrestleGamer, Del Beverly Boudreaux, and this is going to be the TNA Sacrifice pay-per-view review for this year. Needless to say, we're going to be answering the question, was this pay-per-view good enough for us to sacrifice our time from last night? Let me introduce the panel for this pay-per-view review. Ladies and gentlemen, first off, from YouTube.com/Lance Moss TV, he is the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
Pretty good. Kind of want my time back for last night, but there's that.
And yes, ladies and gentlemen, his lordship is here, Lord Alfie. Lord Alfie, how you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Well, guys and gals, like I said, we're going to be talking about TNA's Sacrifice pay-per-view. If you guys checked us out on the Impact review, one of the things that was really kind of a downer for me is the fact that, you know, they waited almost until the last second to kind of start building up for this pay-per-view. I mean, there was really, literally zero build-up, as it were, for TNA Sacrifice. You know, if they wouldn't have had last week's Impact, I can guarantee you there would have been probably about zero interest in the pay-per-view, period. So we're going to go ahead and get the review. By the way, if you're watching us live right now, or if you're watching us here on the archive, we always encourage you guys to leave your comments in the comment section below. And if you are doing it here live, we definitely will read your comments out loud here on the review. So let's go take a look at the opening contest, which was the Tag Team Championship on the line in a highly unusual set of circumstances for it. 3-on-2, you know, all three members of Romance against the Wolves. The Wolves kind of counteracting the rule as of late from you know, when you get disqualified, you get to keep the title. So they made the matchup no disqualification. It was kind of inevitable right after that the tag team champions titles were going to change, and it did happen like that, Lance. But it was still a really good opening match for Sacrifice. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, honestly, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Y'all know I'm not really a big tag guy, but I realized it's not that I'm a really big tag guy. I just don't like how WWE does tags. This was a good tag match. I mean, well, sort of kind of handicap tag match, if you want to, kind of like two on versus like 2.5 men.
Or 2.5 MB.
No.
It
more like 2.5 BM.
Oh God. Oh jeez.
Bromance.
Oh yeah, you got a point there. But those initials leave something to be desired, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and sometimes bromance remind me of that other word.
God.
But yeah, one of the best matches of the night.
I reckon their locker room's a bit of a tight place to go to.
Well, we're not, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, well, guess what? We're not going to tell you. But
message me and I'll tell you.
Well, up
Ask
next.
your parents.
Oh yeah. Well, up next we got the committed match. Mr. Anderson and Samuel, I'm a mama's boy, Shaw, who lives in his mom's basement, literally taking the troll term to another level, living in his mom's basement. I will say this though, there was a bit of a Alfie. There was a bit of a comical aspect to it in varying instances. You know, including the point where they had Anderson and Shaw back there, and Anderson was demanding an interview, that Jeremy Borash interviewed Shaw during the match, and asked him how the match was going, and he kind of made like the Mickey Mouse sound. Oh, that's going really well. I'm going to the funny part. But I gotta say though, Chris Hemi's nut shot on Shaw, nice touch.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I think the whole joke itself is having a damn committed match. I mean, it's such a weird thing, but I think it's brilliant. And that's why I love TNA 4. They're not afraid to just throw any crap storyline together and pick any stipulation for a match. I love it. Yeah, what was you going to say?
No, I'm just listening to what you're saying.
All right. I also like the thing. I haven't watched TNA in a while. I watched the past few episodes prior to Sacrifice, and the one where he takes Christy Hemme back to his apartment, and all of a sudden he's living in his mother's basement. He cleared this up on Twitter. He thought on his feet, and he said, basically, I'm not going to quote anything, but he basically said, I have multiple places where I live. I have multiple homes. And then I was like, clever.
I remember that being brought up on the Impact review, Alfie. Last week, I believe, somebody was talking to me about the fact that, the Samuel Shaw's living in his mom's basement. I thought he had an apartment. I think it's just to add to the storyline, the gimmick of Samuel Shaw being a creepy guy, and I think it kind of adds to that factor, adds to that gimmick, what else is even creepier than that, than living in your mom's basement? Which is why I basically said it's the basic Trolls storyline come to life, in a sense. You're always saying, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's living in his mom's basement. TNA's taking that to a whole nother level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, completely agree.
But anyway, up next we had Willow and Kurt Angle taking on EC3 and Rockstar Spud. Few spots I want to talk about, make mention of, that were kind of weird. I will say the before match promo was good with Rockstar Spud and EC3. I thought it was good. I thought it was decent. Not really bad, especially with Rockstar calling Willow Mr. Willow. Opening match, Kurt Angle telling Rockstar Spud if he didn't get his you-know-what out of the ring, he was going to kick his you-know-what all the way back to England. And Rockstar said, see ya, tag. I wouldn't blame Kurt. I don't blame Rockstar one bit for that one, but I thought that was a beautiful spot. But probably the weirdest spot in the entire match, Rockstar Spud and EC3 on the outside, and Willow decides to come leaping off the top turnbuckle with his umbrella opened up, and next you know, we have all the fans chanting, Mary Poppins, Mary Poppins.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Well, brilliant, weird, and headache-inducing at the same time. But I will, nonetheless, I still thought, Lance, it was, a decent tag match. Can't really say anything bad about it.
Well, you can't. But I have a few things to say. Decent tag match.
The floor is yours.
Well, to Rockstar Spud and EC3. EC3, get some Clearasil, clear all this crap up, all these blemishes and crap you got on your chest up. It's called Clearasil, buddy. It clears that crap up. And Rockstar Spud, buddy, get some new gear, because the whole Magic Mike, the junior high years, ain't working for you.
Damn.
And Kurt Angle, if you look at this, I was like, what am I doing here? And how much was Vince offering again?
He kind of had that same look at WrestleCon when I got the chance to meet him. Well, I didn't really meet him per se, but when I saw him, when I was talking to Al Snow, that's kind of the same look he had.
Yeah.
So, but it's not meant as any disrespect to Kurt Angle, because last thing we want is for him to come after us,
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get up to the next match, which is something, one of the reasons I started watching TNA is because of my love for the X-Division. And how entertaining and how wonderful the X-Division was in the past. And, with the pickups of, Sanada and Tigre Uno, that's really a throwback, in my personal opinion, to the way the X-Division used to be, which was high-flying, very entertaining stuff. Now, I was talking with the Studley Man Ashley during the pay-per-view last night, and he did make mention of the fact that the match wasn't really up to, you know, up to snuff in his mind. In a sense, he thought the first two matches between Tigre, Uno, and Sanada were much better than what they pulled off on the pay-per-view. But what they pulled off in the pay-per-view, in my mind, Lord Alfie, was still decent enough to be a really great X Division match. But I'm still just, surprised. I've never seen anyone take a bump from a German suplex from the turnbuckle, and I'm just surprised that they didn't come up and say Sanada broke his neck.
Yeah, I've never seen that either. But you got to remember with these wrestlers, they're not afraid to take a bump or two. They are nuts, and in my eyes, the X Division is one of the best, if not the best, feature of TNA in my eyes because their talent, X Division wise, is fantastic. And I thought it was a great match. I mean, it wasn't as good as the other two in my eyes, but I thought it was still a damn good match. That's how well these two work together.
And now if you look at the major talents that have come from the X Division, I mean, that's where Samoa Joe first started getting noticed in TNA. AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Kazarian, Chris Sabin, all those guys got started getting noticed from TNA in the X Division.
It's like the X Division is its own boot camp, NXT style boot camp, because once they're in, they've done their time in there, they've won the X Division title, maybe, I don't know, and then they've gone on to do bigger, better things, which I think was really, really cool. That's what I like. Austin Aries, when he won the title and swapped it for a title match, I think that's kind of shows that the title is second place, obviously, to the world title, but that title is the key to moving on. I think that's a really cool thing.
It definitely is. But like I said, it was a very decent X Division title match. Sanada gets the win, but I got to say, I even posted it on the Facebook page last night during the coverage. I just sat back and I enjoyed that match, and that's exactly what happened. It was an enjoyable match. But up next, something that really probably wasn't too enjoyable, the I Quit match between James Storm and Gunner. Now, I did get the opportunity to see the promo before the match with James Storm, trying to really incorporate a lot of the new stuff into his gimmick, especially with his new theme song and apparently the new catchphrase they got him doing, sorry, but not sorry. But unfortunately, it was around this time where I had to step out during the night, and the comparable one, Lance Moss, got to he got to see this match. And Lance, from what you said to me, that this really wasn't, we talk about matches that weren't really up to snuff. Their cage match was good. There was a matchup that followed that one. I noticed, the Unlocked match. They were, where anything goes. That matchup was really good. But from the way you described it to me, Lance, last night, that the I Quit match really didn't. It really wasn't up to snuff to any of the previous stuff that James Storm and Gunner did.
Well, see, because I know how you're not a big fan of the whole extreme hardcore stuff, but I am, but I just know the whole idea of somebody driving glass into somebody's head. Not your cup of tea. But the only one problem I have, Gunner, if you're gonna blade, learn how to do it right, because he went way too much. He took one beer bottle, his head wasn't bleeding, then they cut to the ref for 5 seconds. He starts bleeding like he was Stone Cold in WrestleMania 13.
God dang.
Ric Flair.
Him
God dang.
Have you seen the images from it, Billy?
I've not had the opportunity to see the images from it, but thanks to the descriptive powers of Lance Moss, I really don't need to see the images, to be honest.
What can I say? I'm a wordsmith.
It's like he was wearing the suicide mask.
Oh, jeez.
About half of
Half of it.
You're kind of like this, straight down the middle almost.
Well,
yikes. Wow. But anyway, after that, go ahead.
Sorry, just a quick really. Next Monday, Gunner is coming to London, and he's doing a free signing, so I'm going to go and meet Gunner, see what that's all about over there. So yeah.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, see what's all about, see what's going on.
Hey, see if you can get him to do an intro for WGS-TV. That would be pretty cool.
I'll take my camera with me and see what I can do.
All right, talk about taking your camera somewhere. The Knockouts Championship match was up next after that. Madison Rayne defending against Angelina Love. And you know what? I really didn't need to see the match to kind of figure out what was going to happen, Lord Alfie. You know, with the way they've been pushing the return of the beautiful people and the way that everything had been going as of late, ever since Angelina Love returned to TNA, which to me, in my mind, I don't care what Rick says, it is a good thing. It was almost inevitable that they were going to put the title on Angelina Love, you know, with interference thanks to Velvet Sky. But, you know, did you feel that maybe the predictability of this match maybe hurt it just a little bit with the way the beautiful people have been pushed?
This match was way too predictable. Their push was so over the top that you could predict it so early on. It's ridiculous. Just like Daniel Bryan winning the world title at WrestleMania. It's ridiculously predictable in my eyes. Yeah, they've had a massive push recently. Big push.
So yeah, that's pretty much what happened with there. Angelina Love is the beautiful, the new Knockouts champion, and needless to say, we're probably going to get some more rehashing of old beautiful people stuff. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but maybe they start needing. They're both 10s in my opinion, but they need to start coming up with more up-to-date stuff for the beautiful people gimmick. The grocery bag over the face, we've seen that done to death. I mean, even Cody Rhodes would say, come on with something new. You know what I mean? Alfie and Lance got that reference. I wonder how many of you guys out there got that reference. But speaking of something being referenced, how about the tables match? Bully Ray taking on Bobby Roode. Dixie Carter, what the hell are you doing?
Ruining TNA.
I mean, we didn't need to see what you look like when you don't shave. Okay? You got more facial hair than me.
She got more facial hair than Daniel Bryan.
I mean, it's...
You got more facial hair than Eric Rowan.
He's got more facial hair than the cast members of Duck Dynasty. But
Shucky Ducky Quack Quack.
Why did I have to bring that up?
Oh, Shucky Ducky Quack Quack.
Oh, man, I'm about to have a Houston hangover right now. Anyway, it kind of makes a little bit of sense thinking about with the way they're going with the Dixie Carter Bully Ray angle, in a sense, for her to kind of interfere and kind of cost him the match, which was what happened. But it was just so over the top, utterly ridiculous the way they did it, and the getup that she had on. I mean, really, I mean, after lockdown, I thought we were done with that crap. I thought we were done seeing the ridiculousness of Dixie Carter. She can't sell a promo. She's horrible on the microphone. And now they're going to have her go in disguise and knock Bully Ray off the top rope through a table? Really? TNA, you're sunk to that level of ridiculousness that you're going to do that? I mean, I don't know what else to say, except that was just really, in my opinion, Lance, terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be quite honest. At first, when Dixie first got on the steps and everything, I thought it was Spike. I literally thought it was Spike Dudley.
Wow.
But yeah, bad match. And a little word to the referee of that match. Know when to do your spot. Because apparently a ghost attacked him because he took a bump for no reason.
Yeah, pretty much. But the matchup, They could, in my opinion, they could have done without Dixie Carter. They could have done it without the interference, and it would have been a decent match. But to throw her in there in disguise of sorts and have her knock Bully Ray off the top rope, it was just the level of ridiculousness. It just really sunk to a whole new low, in my opinion. And to me, that it kind of ruined it. In my opinion, I mean, why not just have her go out there and like regular clothes and just knock Bully Ray off? Have her come from the blind side and just knock Bully Ray off the top rope without Bully Ray seeing her coming. I mean, they could have done it like that. That way, it would have been at least somewhat decent. The disguise was really ridiculous, in my opinion. And that's the thing that ticks me off more about it, and that's the reason why I'm just getting on Dixie Carter's case and TNA's case about this. They could have done without the disguise. Dixie Carter just could have came out regular garb without come from the blind side, Bully Ray's blind side, knock him off the top rope into the table, boom, bing, bang, boom. It would have been done like that, and everyone would know it already. It would have been Dixie Carter. It would have been done like that. I don't know why Dixie Carter thinks she's Eric Bischoff for some reason, but Dixie, you're not going to pull it off. Even Eric Bischoff would say, "Come on, that's enough." But speaking of enough, let's go to the main event of Sacrifice, the World Heavyweight Championship match between Eric Young and Magnus. A couple of things I will say. There's a couple of good points. One, I love the video package, kind of showcasing Eric Young's career in TNA. I don't care if anybody else says he's a Daniel Bryan knockoff just because he's had the beard. Word to you guys, Eric Young has been having a beard for quite some time in TNA. It's not exactly a knockoff of Daniel Bryan, to be honest.
He had it before Bryan was in the spot he's in now.
Pretty much,
He's had it
exactly.
for years.
Yeah, so I don't know where these fans are getting off saying, "Oh, he's copying Daniel Bryan, he's mocking Daniel Bryan." Really?
I think they're more aiming that towards the people that told him to win the title.
Yes, yes. Because Billy, let's face it, what about like a week or two after WWE puts the belt on Daniel Bryan? TNA puts the TNA belt on Eric Young. They do have a few similarities. I'm guessing around about the same height, sort of kind of same build, kind of got the same facial hair. I think they're more criticizing TNA than they are Eric Young.
Well, yeah. I gotta agree with you on that one. Overall, this matchup, in my opinion, Lord Alfie, it wasn't like a show-stealing type of match. It wasn't really 5-star caliber quality. You would normally would like to see, in your pay-per-views, but it was still very decent. One thing I'm surprised: no appearances by Abyss, no interference whatsoever. Does that mean that after this they're de-pushing Magnus? What do you think?
I think they're gonna push him back a bit. I think he's had his spot for the moment. That's pretty much it. Yeah, he's gonna go down a bit. He maybe get another title shot, let's say in a year or so, couple years maybe. He may even go off on a feud with Abyss for few months, maybe. That's probably the way that he's going now. So yeah, that's where I see it going.
That would be interesting. Unfortunately, guys and gals, we had no fan reviews sent into the Facebook page for TNA Sacrifice. So, but again, whenever we do reviews here on WGS-TV, you guys out there have the chance to voice your opinions about that show by sending in your reviews to facebook.com/WGS-TV. And like always, we will read your reviews out loud here on WGS-TV. So now, with that being said, it is now time to go into overall scores and our picks for best and worst match or segment of TNA Sacrifice this year. Sacrifice, with the lack of build that it's had, still kind of tried its very best to come off as a somewhat decent show. the tag matchup was really good. The committed match, again, there was a lot of comical stuff into it. Eric Young retaining was a little bit predictable, but overall, I gotta say it was it was decent, and that's being kind to TNA. I could have gone off in a whole different direction, but I kind of want to remain professional when I do my reviews here on WGS-TV. So I'm going to go ahead and give TNA Sacrifice a 3 out of 5. Again, and that's me being kind. Best match of the night, from what I saw, I have to go with the tag match. The opening tag match with the Wolves and Bromance, with an honorable mention right up there with Sanada and Tigre Uno, because that was indeed Sanada and Tigre Uno are probably one of the 2 reasons why they can save the X-Division right now in TNA, considering how talented they are. Word to TNA, bring TJ Perkins back.
Not as manic.
Not as manic. No, but worst match. I don't want to seem disrespectful towards Bully Ray and Bobby Roode, because the matchup could have been done without the ridiculous interference from Dixie Carter, but because of that, I have to go with that, because it was just so over the top, utterly ridiculous the way they did it, and I've already expressed my opinion about it. They could have had Dixie Carter come out there in a regular attire. They could have had her come out from the blind side of Bully Ray and knock him off the top rope instead of coming out in a disguise, which was really, really, really ridiculous looking. So that's why I have to give it that. Let's go to Lance next. Get his overall score and his picks for best and worst match or segment of TNA Sacrifice. Lance?
Well, I gotta give it a 2.75. I know that's extremely low for me, but whatever. Main reason, one, it was kind of a one-sided card. Like, you had, okay, best I can put it, well, since Easter was, about a week or 2 ago, kind of like one of those chocolate bunnies, that are kind of hollow in the middle. It was like, yeah, the first and toward the end, it was started to get good, but there was nothing really good there in that middle part. So
kind of hollow.
Yeah, they needed to give more of a flow to the show instead of good match, jobber, kind of crap matches, then good. More like a wave type deal. And one other thing. Samuel Shaw seemed a little tentative to be thrown in the back of that truck. You figure a guy who's stalking wouldn't have a fear of commitment.
Just to let you know, apparently they recorded that 2 days prior to Sacrifice.
What, really?
Yep.
Anyway. My overall, 2.75. Best match, just because I kind of like the whole harder side of wrestling, I got to go with James Storm and Gunner. Worst, I got to go with the Knockouts match, mainly because the only thing that was, to me, that was good in the match was looking at their backsides.
And once again, we thank the TNA cameraman for that opportunity.
Yeah. But get a bigger shot of Velvet Sky's backside next time.
And then finally, guys, we're going to go over to Lord Alfie and get his overall scores and his picks for best and worst match or segment of TNA Sacrifice. Your Lordship?
You may be surprised, but I give it a 2. Out of the 7 matches on the card, I counted 2 of them that I actually enjoyed watching, to be honest. And it was indeed the opening 2. And then it went doo for me. Best match, in fact, no, 3. I like 3 of them. Sanada and names can't remember.
Tigre Uno.
Tigre Uno. That match was awesome. I like the comedic bits in the Anderson Shaw one. So that's an honourable mention. Worst match, probably. I agree with you, Billy. I think it's I think it's the tables match, because I completely agree. I'm just going to repeat what you're saying. There was no need for it. It was a stupid ending. And that's going to count as the worst segment as well for me. So, yeah. That's pretty much it. I don't think I like this pay-per-view.
All right, guys and gals, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, what we want to know now from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on TNA Sacrifice. What are your overall scores? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment of TNA Sacrifice? Was this a pay-per-view worth watching? You know, we want to hear from you guys out there. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Lance, what can fans expect to see other than the tunnel, a light at the end of the tunnel, when they come visit your channel over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV? Where's James Bond when you need him?
Well, anyway, album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck gourmet cooking videos, some guitar work, and whatever else pops in my head.
And while a sniper starts to take aim at Lord Alfie right now, his lordship is also on Facebook, known as the Pro Wrestling Lad. Where can fans check you out?
They can check me out there, facebook.com/ProWrestlingLad, and they can also find me on the WGS-TV Facebook page.
Which is at facebook.com/WGS-TV, and don't forget to please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer and youtube.com/ZFXTV Network if you haven't already. So for the incomparable Lance Moss and Lance Moss TV and his lordship, Lord Alfie, the Pro Wrestling Lad, I'm the WrestleGamer, Double B Billy Bujo, saying thank you very much for watching. P.S. Dixie Carter, before Impact Wrestling airs on Thursday, shame.